Yeah, Vince. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Me Show Mission. We're not ready to pop just yet, but I see you all in the chat. Hello, Robert Monroe Jr. How everybody? You see our guests are in the building. We are working through some audio troubles with Vincent, who could not be here tonight because of some family issues, but he is still on the show. As you see, he couldn't be here live in person, but he's there on the show, and we're working through some audio issues. So stay tuned and watch the sausage get made. All right. Okay. And Robert Monroe, since I know you're out there, if you can just hit me up in the chat, let me know for certain that you are hearing us, which you should be. All right, Vincent. All right. Yeah, go out and come back in. Let's see if that makes a difference here. A good friend. I don't like.
Now I can hear you.
You hear us fine?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We hear you fine now. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to have Terry talking to the microphone and see if you hear her.
I am currently muted, but I'm talking.
Did you hear her?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Okay, now I will have Darryl talking to his microphone.
Hello.
Darryl. Hello, Darryl. It's time for you to talk.
It is time for me to talk.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Now,
All
Lynn,
right.
you should talk.
I'm talking.
I know, but you talk to make sure that I can hear you.
Thank you, Vincent. All right.
Okay.
All right. So now I want to just, because of all these audio issues, I want to make sure that the missionaries can hear us. I see Blue Girl 718 is in the chat. Robert Monroe Jr. I'm sure everybody else will be showing up on this very special night. They're not used to us broadcasting on a Monday night.
Right.
But so if you in the chat can let us know in the chat that you are hearing us, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Blue Girl 718. I appreciate you. She says that she can hear us. So we're off and running, Vincent.
You just way.
I just what? Did I just go away again? This is on his end. This is not us. This is not us, ladies and gentlemen. This is clearly on Vincent's end.
It literally just went away.
I've done nothing, Vincent. I've done nothing. This is all.
You know what? You know what, Lynn?
Yeah.
You know what?
What? He's gonna go out and come back in, or something.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, he's switching to his earbuds. Oh no, well, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Vince. No, I don't hear you. We don't hear you. We don't hear you at all, Vincent. Oh, let's see. Your mic is muted, Vince. Your mic is muted. Unmute your mic on the stream.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we hear you.
All right.
Okay. All right. So if I understand what is happening right now, you are just using the internal speakers on your computer.
We're going to keep it internal. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll make this work. All right. Now, before we start, though, however, because we have guests here, and this is the first time that we've had a guest here in this, two guests in the studio at the same time.
Two guests at the same time.
Yes.
What else is people doing two at the same time, Lynn? Is that the theme of the movie?
Yes. Yes. We're having simultaneous love. That's exactly what we're going to be having on this. But I'm not liking some aspect of the setup. So, Vincent, now that they can hear you, okay, I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you if you can do a little bit of hosting while I go and get one other piece of equipment from the other room. For the
just try this one more time.
Okay. All right. Well, now I can't go because he's trying. He's
Okay.
going to try.
I hear you.
George Cremona wants us to start over because now he's here. No, George.
I hear you. Can you hear me?
We hear you. There's a bit of a echo, I think, but we hear you.
I wonder if the echo is because it's two sets of systems. It's the StreamYard setting, and it's the computer setting.
Yeah, but the computer setting should be your computer settings should be set for oh shit, hold on. I didn't mean to do that.
I was to say, what are you doing?
I'm trying to block somebody that's coming in through Twitch. I blocked it.
Okay.
Your StreamYard setting, as far as your audio, should be set for your whatever your microphone is.
Okay. I think I'm good now.
And you hear us fine?
I can hear you fine. So you gonna go away and let me host by myself. You do something like go into the gut of the Millennium Falcon.
I got to go do something because there's something about the setup I'm not liking.
Of course,
So,
now you just went away.
Jesus, Vincent. Oh my God, this is like a Marx Brothers routine. Will you just take out the headphones and go old school? Just take them off. Just take them off. There you go. Now switch your audio. Unmute your mic.
Now I have to.
Okay. Now,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Darryl Charles, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. It's good to see you. Timmaree, I've never met you before. I'm Vince. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah.
You too. Darryl and I are old friends. Darryl was making beer the last time we were together.
True. That's true. We were making it was a lemongrass saison.
I know because you're fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Pinky's out. Carl was there. And it was Carl's decision on that beer.
Sure. Timmaree, do you make liquor?
I do not. I consume it heavily though.
Mm.
I am a part of the process.
It's the circle of life.
Yeah.
the great circle of life.
Yeah. If you have a bunch of whiskey that you need to get rid of, I am your gal. I'm here to help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duly noted. Lynn likes honey flavored whiskey. How do you feel about that?
That seems fine. I am happy with alcohol in general. Honey is a fantastic flavor. Speaking of, okay, I'm gonna do a 90-degree turn. Is there a food that hot honey is not good on? Like,
good on?
Yeah, is there a food that hot honey is not good on? Because I've been racking my brain all weekend to try to figure out what that would be.
What I wouldn't want.
Yeah, what would you not want hot honey on?
Brussels sprouts?
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my head.
Really?
It's the first thing that came to my head. Though, I mean,
I think I'd still.
Butter's good on it.
Yeah, I'd
that
still
savory-
absolutely do that.
You know what? I think I have. Like, actually, at like some random restaurant, like when they have the they're like charred, and then they put there's a honey on it. So actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I was racking my brain trying to think of any food that wouldn't be good, and the only answers are things that I just don't like in general, like celery.
How do you not like celery?
Because it's just like I could drink water.
Okay.
I could just drink water instead.
Thank you. That's what I feel. That's how I feel about celery and lettuce. It's water. It's green. It's green.
It's about texture and crunch.
No.
Yeah.
No. Crunch is Captain Crunch. I don't need celery.
I'm not trying to tear up the roof of my mouth. No.
I don't understand you people that tear up the roof of your mouth with Captain Crunch. I have never torn up the roof of my mouth with Captain Crunch.
You're not eating it fast enough.
I was about to say, you're not eating it fast enough.
Put it in the microwave.
I don't. It goes right. It's fine. It's fine. Farrell Blackwell says that honey might not be good on artichokes.
There you go, artichokes.
Well,
I think again, it depends on how you make it, because like I get the pan really, really, really hot. I also throw in like a ton of turmeric. So I still think that I don't know.
On your artichoke hearts or on your artichokes?
I think I would make it similarly to the way I make Brussels sprouts. Yeah. Where it's just like seared on the outside. Yeah.
I've only
I don't
had
know.
artichokes like recently, and it's a very weird vegetable.
It
You gotta
is.
pull the thing off and then just bite the end until you get to the heart.
Yeah.
It's very involved.
I've never had an artichoke because they were always part of a routine on the Three Stooges. So I realized that that looks like funny for me. So it doesn't look like it's meant to be eaten. So I won't go there.
Right.
Aaron Fry suggests asparagus.
I'm going to say
Again.
these are all the same thing.
Yeah. I could definitely see some honey.
Yeah.
on
Honey on
asparagus.
some asparagus. I am a big fan of asparagus.
Oh, I love asparagus.
One of my first.
Oh, asparagus is fantastic.
Yeah,
Did you say one of your first jokes was about?
Yeah, one of my first jokes was about asparagus because there was a I don't remember the bit now, but there was it was in Europe somewhere. The asparagus prices were too high, and somebody got in a fight at like a fair market or whatever.
Wow.
And so the joke was an act out of how does that conversation go. And it's like, how much is the asparagus? What? Say it again. You got one more time to tell me the price of this asparagus, and then the fight breaks out.
As I say, that's cool. Yeah. All right. I think we have everything all set. I have better lighting on Timmaree because I wanted to.
All right.
I wanted to see her. Did they tell you that we are drinking alcohol, Vincent?
I heard you were drinking alcohol. I'm missing the alcohol. What are you drinking?
My lady Khadijah has made some sangria.
Oh, very nice.
The white sangria.
I was about to say, is it white or red?
It's white sangria.
Delicious.
Ooh. Filled with fruit, Vince.
Well, it's a light fruity drink. Springtime is upon us.
Exactly. First day.
I feel incredibly classy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you approve of sangria, Vince? Because I know you usually disapprove of my alcohol choices.
I mean, it's a nice springy drink. It's refreshing. It's not what I'd be drinking if I was sitting listening to BB King or something, but
All right. Well, nobody ever equated you to BB King, so I think sangria will go.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. All right, you ready to start the show?
We're here. Why not do a show?
Hey, welcome to the Me Show Mission. 2 Men, 1 podcast. Every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I'm joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be reviewing maybe the most requested film in the show mission history from the year 2000, directed by that auteur Rob Hardy. It is Trois, starring Gretchen Palmer, Kenya Moore, and Gary Dourdan, I believe is the gentleman.
Yeah. He's always going to be Shaza from Different World to me, but I guess we'll call him his legal name.
Well, for tonight.
Right.
But joining us, because so epic is this film that you have requested, missionaries, joining us in our review of this classic.
Classic, absolutely.
We have the host of the single funniest and funnest sex show on the planet, and dare I say the best sex show on the planet.
It's a fact.
The DTF Fun Hour. We have the D, which is the comedian Darryl Charles, returning for a 3rd visit on the mission, and he has brought his partner, Dr. Timmaree.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey.
Darryl, this is your Trois time here.
This is my Trois time here. And
Yes.
I feel like I was the one who suggested Trois once as an off-color remark.
Yes.
And, the long con is finally paid off.
It has paid off. We are reviewing. I did not remember anything about this movie except the title. And boy.
See, yeah, I worked at Blockbuster back in the day, and I walked past this film a lot, but did not actually get to experience it until very recently. And I am so grateful to y'all that I finally did, because now I know it exists and I'm going to watch it all the time.
Oh, yes.
And I am going to force other people to watch it.
It's a party movie.
Oh, it is.
By the end, it does become the finest film ever made in the history of the world. It really does. Not to jump ahead, but I admired the craft of what I call maggot lunch so much.
Oh my God. Oh my
But
God.
then the woman in the background started to projectile vomit, and I said, this right here This is art.
That's
I mean, this is actually art.
exactly what we said. I was just like, this is the whole movie existed for this scene, and they blew their entire special effects budget on this.
Yes, they did.
moment.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. You've heard it before, ladies and gentlemen, but this time it is very true. This one has it all. It does indeed. Robert Monroe Jr. said, I checked an episode of the DTF Fun Hour last weekend, and it was fantastic. And I have to agree that it is a great show. I've actually gotten into text chains with Darryl.
Yeah, man. Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
We enjoy it. It was a live show that Lynn has been on until, your little president took society away. And then after that, we made it a podcast, and it became a very nice thing when you're stuck in the house to hang out with your friend for an hour a week. So we've continued.
It's going to be 9 years in May that we've been doing the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only relationship I've had that's longer is like I had a cat that lived for like 17 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Mhm.
So what was the origin of the DTF Fun Hour? Darryl, you're a comedian, but
Mhm.
Timmaree, you are a noted, I don't know what is the proper term for your PhD.
My PhD is in human sexuality education. So I am a sexuality educator.
Mhm.
And we were both on a fundraiser show called The Pornologues that was just mostly comedy about porn. And they asked me to be on it because like that's within my wheelhouse, and I was around the comedy scene a lot. And so in lieu of doing stand-up, because I'm not a stand-up, I brought a PowerPoint that I had presented at an academic conference about like obscure internet sex subcultures.
Wow.
And it was like,
Nice.
it was, delightful. And when you present it in an academic context, it's just like, well, that's fun. But in a comedy context where we can actually just like, it was great. It was great. And then there's a lot of pictures in the PowerPoint, and they're obscure. Like intentionally, I found obscure stuff. Thanks to the internet, a lot of this stuff is more, prevalent now and people know about it.
Right.
Darryl came up to me and we were talking afterwards, and he was like, that was pretty good. I didn't know about one of those.
Yeah.
Are a freak. We are going to be friends.
Yeah, that was how we met. I was just like, that's a really good. I think it was Centaurs.
Boy tires.
Yeah. That was the one. I was just like, obviously it was a rule 34 of the internet. Like if somebody likes a thing, there's porn about it. But
That's
like,
very true.
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
it just. I guess I had never come across Centaur stuff, and I was just like, oh, well, look at that. I learned something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the fun thing about like the centaurs is because it was a part of the thing where it's like segments, and then there's people that are like using like basically computer stuff to make people look like they're Siamese twins when they're not actually, or
Really?
conjoined twins. I'm sorry, like the idea of people being like connected together,
Mhm.
and then so you get the boytars, which is like the
Boytars. Wow.
yeah, because usually people have a preference, and then so it's like a guy from like waist up, and then it's like a horse, but then
From
since
the waist down.
yeah, and then, because all of this isn't real anyway, he might as well have another horse butt, right? Like he could have a horse butt and then another, like kind of human centipede,
About
except
to
for
say,
it's
yeah.
one being that's
Mm.
got like multiple horse butts. Because
Wow.
if you're making all of this
Yeah.
on a computer, you can make it be exactly what you want it to be,
That's very true. That's
Sometimes 2 butts isn't enough.
Yeah. Which brings us back to the topic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When someone says I like big butts and I cannot lie, they really do mean several butts.
Yeah. There's an S on that butts for a reason.
Right.
okay. Very true. Very true. Now, so you've got your PhD in human sexuality, but what about turning this into a show interested you, Darryl, as primarily a stand-up comedian, even though you do have some sketch background?
Yeah, I mean, stand-up, sketch, improv, whatever, but like I've always been interested in sex since having it. And,
Aren't we all?
you know, but I went above and beyond, like, in my interests and such. And there was a contest at a theater that was like put on a new show, and they did like a March Madness kind of bracket. And Timmaree actually was like, hey, do you want to do a show together? And so we figured out what the format was going to be. It changed a lot since then, but we ended up winning that contest. And that our show ended up being a part of the theater the first 2-3 years of it.
Right.
And, we were off and running. But I mean, it was, I guess I never really thought about like, I want to have a show, but it was definitely like, it was going to be fun to do. And it was going to let me research sex in a productive fashion, as opposed to all of my independent research.
Right.
You were doing field work.
Yes, I was working for a goal, not so I could go to sleep.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask the two of you, in putting this show together, how did you come up with the format of it? Because it's fun, but it is very true to your mission, very educational.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember like the mechanics of how we figured out the format, but we wanted it to be not just like haha TT like titties. We wanted it to be like, if you want it to be sustainable, it has to have some sort of point. And it's also, I think, for me personally, I went into sexuality education as a form of like activism, because I think it's a part of social justice to be able to talk about bodily autonomy, and sexuality butts up against every other topic, like the law and history and religion and art and everything. And so the two of us are very much about talking about, that, well, the spoiler alert, in every single DTF, capitalism was the villain all along.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Yes. Yeah, I learned that.
It's just like Agatha.
Yeah, and it is. I think we both are completely in agreement on that. That like sexual liberation, sexual identity is really like at the forefront of a lot of the rules and that people are talking about changing and actively participating in when it comes to the prison industrial complex or racism or whatever. Like usually sex is right there. So that's why the podcast is so fun, because while every article we bring up has something to do with sex or gender, it touches so many other realms of our life. And then you find out that capitalism is really behind a lot of the ills in society.
True.
Not to say that, socialism will be better, just that
Now we're back to mini butts.
yeah. Yes. We need to seize the means of butts.
Yes. Yes.
Butts of production.
We've got a
Right.
request from Farrell Blackwell, who's a longtime listener of the Michelle Mission here, in the chat, to please ask Dr. Timmaree to test. Want the missionaries to test Dr. Timmaree on the niche categories. Now, I'm not exactly sure, Farrell, exactly what do you mean? What niche categories is you're speaking?
Are you going to give
of?
me like a sex quiz?
Oh,
Like,
Oh my
oh
God.
my God.
Right?
This is what they've tuned in for, ladies and
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. Sure, we could come up with a sex quiz. It's just interesting. I have my partner here, Khadijah, is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. She's sitting over there. She's out of earshot. She is the provider of the sangria, and she is an aspiring, aspiring sexologist, or to counsel people on sex.
a sex
There you go.
Therapist. There you go.
therapist.
Sex therapist. I couldn't put my words together there. I'm sorry.
Don't say words am hard.
Words am hard to see. Well, I'm happy. I'm doing 4 things at once because I'm trying to deal with some Twitch issues that are going on here.
And now we're back to Trois.
And now we're back to Trois. Now we're back to Trois. Robert Monroe Jr. said that he's never heard of Centaur porn. He never considered that there'd be such a thing.
I think the question is, I think they might want you to run through the
just
categories
give
that
a few
you-
examples.
Yes.
Okay, so that is a presentation I don't think I've given in like 9 years, and I think that, again, like I said, because of the way that the internet has evolved since then, these will be less obscure than they were at the time. But some that I remember right offhand are lunars. So that's folks who like balloons, and they tend to very strongly have a preference between either they want the balloon to be popped or that would be very, very not desired. So they're a non-popper. That was one group.
Wait a minute. So they like balloons. I mean, I like balloons, but
No, you don't.
tells me they're doing something completely different than I'm doing with the balloons that I'm just walking and handing to my daughter.
So here's what I would say is think about sensation, sensuality, and the things that you like to touch. Like what are the like maybe a fabric that you like to touch?
textures.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What kind of sensation do you want to have under your fingertips?
What is
And-
this, velvet?
And like some people hate velvet, right? And then some people really like leather or
Mhm,
latex or whatever. And balloons have a very specific, not only texture, but like there's this danger element to it because they can pop. So you can
Okay. So this would be a balloon that has been inflated.
generally.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
generally. So maybe a scene that you would like to watch is someone that you find attractive playing with the balloon, maybe like putting it on
Got
places
you,
that you like to
got
look
you.
at. And maybe that person pops the balloon, like using their thighs or something like that. Or maybe they threaten to, but they don't, because there's that, it's sort of like, it's got that like edging component to it
Mhm,
of the
mhm.
control of what the explosion is. In addition to like that tension because it's poppable is my interpretation from what I've gathered.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not like necessarily speaking for myself. But like that is just, I mean, first of all, anything can be eroticized, like anything at all. And so when you just find like,
Why are you looking at my Batman statue when you say that?
well,
That's kind of an easy one, Lynn.
yeah. I mean, I could talk about that for a while, but
Please don't. Continue down. Give us at least two more like
Okay.
niche
Um,
categories.
a couple more other random ones. There's a lot of intersections between them too, because they tend to, there's like a Venn diagram where they tend to overlap, but there's a lot of overlap between crushing and giantess stuff. So you might either use camera angles or literally just like computer graphics to
Right.
design someone that you would find attractive that is like 10 feet tall or 50 feet tall or whatever. And then unrelated for some people or directly related for other people is the idea of crushing, which is like watching as a foot, maybe a high heel, crushes a thing. And
Okay.
you know, in some situations it's something silly like a stuffed animal or a tube of toothpaste, or it might be a person's parts, or it could
Oh,
it
Ooh.
could go a little bit like more upsetting than that, but like, you know, it these things vary. There's not like everybody's thing is that person's thing, you
Got
know.
you.
No,
Got
you.
no kinks are
Right.
exactly the same. So
Gotcha.
that would be another example. One of my favorites is the car stuck girls.
Car stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
Car stuck.
Car
girls?
stuck girls. And the whole premise is that car breaks down or maybe gets stuck in the mud or in the snow. And it's just a video or a series of photos of her being stuck. And then she's just like sitting there and just like maybe she's trying to press the pedal. So maybe there's some overlap with like foot fetish, maybe not. But she's sort of this like damsel in distress. And like some of the car stuck videos I've seen, there's no nudity, no sexual contact whatsoever. It's just
a
about
Right.
the moment.
And she's just stuck.
yeah, it's the perilous situation, I think. And I find that one truly like almost wholesome, but also terrifying. Like
Yeah.
Right.
I would,
Yeah.
depending on like, the scenery
Yeah.
where you're at and stuff
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It's somewhere between absolutely terrifying and like, oh, isn't this cute? Because
Yeah, because it's like, what is the motives of the person who's aroused? What is arousing them?
Right.
Right.
I don't want to like interrogate that ever when it comes to fantasy, because like fantasy exists outside of reality. Not everything that you get turned on by is something that you want to have happen in real life, you know? So like, I don't want to interrogate that too hard, because like, if it does it for you, that makes me happy, as long as what you do in real life is kind to people.
Right.
Wants to be there. Yeah, have at it.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
I find vor to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Vor,
V-O-R, that's being eaten.
Or eating.
Or eating people.
wait a minute. So it's you either you being eaten or you eating someone.
Yeah, and that's
okay.
The kink. There's hard and soft board. Man, that is just infinitely interesting to me. Soft board is, you get eaten and you're like, oh no, I'm trapped in the mouth and I'm falling down the esophagus and now I'm in the stomach. But hardcore is like the actual destruction and eating,
right?
The mastication and.
Oh, okay.
An example, like in popular culture, that vor fans might appreciate is like the scene in Jurassic Park where the lawyer gets eaten by a
right.
T-Rex. That might be something that people enjoy.
George Cremona wants to know when you're experiencing vor. Is that with jelly or jam? That's the level of.
I mean,
yes.
I feel like you're getting fancy. Like, I don't think.
I mean, obviously it would be jam because jelly don't shake like that.
He's here all night, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm here for the color commentary and spoiler, snake in a car.
Yo,
I know. I said the same thing,
which is not a euphemism, by the way.
I make the same joke. All right, we're going to get to our review of Trois. This is what you've all showed up for. But I would be remiss if we did not start things off with the game show that is sweeping the nation, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
This is my favorite game show. And I have to say before you start, I love Len being upset at Vincent winning. It is the best. Please continue.
We are going to play 6 Degrees of Derville Martin, ladies and gentlemen. This is
all right.
Vincent and Timmaree and Darryl are more than welcome to join. No, Darryl just wants to take it all in.
I bow to the expert. I don't have that kind of knowledge.
Much like the movie game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, this is where Vincent tries in 6 movies or less to get from 70s black action star Derville Martin to an actor that I have put before him.
Ooh.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
Today, because of special requests from the missionaries, I do have an actor who appears in this film.
Really?
Yeah. This is going to be real easy for you. But I have a hard one afterwards.
Okay. Well, who's the easy one?
Well, the easy one is Vincent in 6 movies or less. Get from Derville Martin to I hit the wrong button to Kenya Moore.
How is this easy?
Oh, I'm glad you don't think so. I know exactly how it is easy, but I'm far be it from me. I
don't even know what Kenya Moore is in.
Well, we know
Kenya Moore made more movies besides this. I thought she went right to reality television.
Is she a reality lady?
She is reality. She's in Real Housewives of something.
Of something.
Real Housewives.
When she was in another movie?
Vincent, can you get from 6 movies or less,
dude,
to Kenya
how
Moore?
is Kenya Moore an actress?
We'll argue that point later on in our review of Trois. But until then, wow, I didn't think this was going to be the one that stumps you, Vince.
Yeah, you got to tell me what she was in.
Is this, well, she was in Trois.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, she was.
Vincent, to be honest, brother, Trois is really all you need. And it may be
okay. Wait. I can use Trois?
Yes, of course.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, in that case, all right. Let's see. How quickly can I get to her? I mean, look, Derville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams. Dick Anthony Williams is in, of course, Mo Better Blues with how do I want to get to Thomas Jefferson Byrd?
That's
because the problem is it's actually so many Spike Lee movies jumping at me at one time.
Yes, I know. They're all just fighting for space within your
right. Fighting for how do I get to them?
But you have to choose a path, my friend.
Okay, let me choose a path. You know what? I'll choose a fun path. How's this, Lynn? Derville Martin is in Dolomite with Rudy Ray Moore.
He is, yes.
Rudy Ray Moore is in The Monkey Hustle.
Last I checked, yes.
With Robert Townsend. Robert Townsend is in Hollywood Shuffle.
Yes.
With Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yes.
Keenan Ivory Wayans is in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yes, he is. He's
with Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans is in Bamboozled with Thomas Jefferson Byrd, who is in who is in Trois with Kenya Moore.
Very good, Vince.
And I know I could have got to him much quicker because, like, Bernie Casey is in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker too, and Bernie Casey and Derville Martin are in Hitman together. I just want to take the long way home.
Well, you did take the long way home, Vincent.
Okay.
You were stumped for the first 5 minutes, but that's fine.
Because I didn't know I could use this. Like, oftentimes when you use somebody in the movie that we're reviewing, you say, I can't use the movie we're reviewing.
I don't recall saying
yes, you have.
Okay, if you say so, Vincent.
But there you go. All right, there you go.
Very good. Very good. Now,
Kenya Moore.
Here's the
even harder one.
The harder one. In 6 movies or less, get from Derville Martin to Simon Pegg. Do you know who Simon Pegg is, Vincent?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Simon Pegg.
Yes. Yes. Timmaree,
okay.
This is Vincent's blind spot, white guys.
That's fine. That's really okay.
See, the problem with Simon Pegg is now I got to get to England.
No, you don't.
Can I help at all?
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be helpful to say that he's in Star Trek.
And he's in Mission Impossible.
He sure is.
Yeah.
He's New Scotty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Derville Martin is in. Look. Derville Martin.
We're looking.
Derville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams. Dick Anthony Williams is in Mo Better Blues with Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson is in one of the Marvel money printing machine movies with Zoe Saldana, who's in new Star Trek with Simon Pegg.
Oh, wait. No, just to be fair, choose a Marvel movie.
Endgame Part 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Endgame Part 2, kitchen sink. Like, everybody's in that.
Very good.
I don't think Nick Fury shows up in any Guardians.
That's why I wanted him to choose.
No. Nick Fury's at the funeral at the end, and Zoe Saldana is running around.
No, very good.
Yeah, but
during the earlier part.
yeah, but like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, there's no Fury in there. I don't think.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted him to make that.
Sure.
Right. They're just all in. Everybody's in Endgame.
Oh yeah, that was just.
I mean, I think we are.
Yeah, right.
I was about to say.
Yeah, we're all in that funeral scene too.
Yes, George Carmona. Again, Star Trek saves the day.
Always.
He got there by way of Star Trek. And speaking of Star Trek, Robert Monroe Jr. says Discovery is wrapped. Is it time for a Spock adjacent? Well, not tonight. So sorry, Robert. Sorry to burst your bubble. There won't be a Spock adjacent, but I'm not caught up on Discovery. I'm almost there. Are you not a big Star Trek fan? Are you guys?
I am. Definitely. I mean, I've seen a lot of Star Wars, but I watched The Next Generation. Like that was my big Star Trek time. And I recently, like within the past 2 years.
Oops, sorry.
Oh,
bad podcasting.
good old Jam Likely foiling us once again.
I know.
I watched in the past years I watched all of The Next Generation again, just for the fun and nostalgia of it. But Discovery I do like. I've seen the first 2 seasons, and I'm still stuck in season 3 for some reason. I just don't have the up and atom to sit down and
I dig it.
devote the hours. But I really do like the show.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek Lower Deck is hilarious.
I've seen a couple of episodes of that, and it comes from high recommendations that I need to continue to watch that. Yeah.
Where are you on the Star Trek sphere, Timmaree?
It's not necessarily a fandom that I super follow. I saw the more recent movies, but it's not necessarily a thing that I know a super amount about. I'm more of a horror movie nerd.
Oh, that's cool.
That's my thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You've just go ahead, Vincent.
You could probably write an entire paper in your field on the Mirror universe with Nichelle Nichols portraying Mirror Universe, her in the midriff with the knife.
That sounded like words that other people would understand. I mean, I know who Nichelle Nichols is. That's far I got. And then I was like, I bet someone could.
There you go.
Someone could.
These are definitely facts. And thank you for satisfying our prerequisite of a couple of minutes of Star Trek for our Star Trek fans.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right.
There you go.
All right. And just because Vince brought it up, and hell, the show's already off to a crazy start.
Oh, where's he going?
Oh.
This is Nichelle Nichols,
Yeah.
and then I'll give it to
Yeah.
Timmaree. So
Oh, she's beautiful.
It's very cute.
She's got a knife.
yes, there.
Yes, she does.
I'll blow you up here so that everybody can see Nichelle in her mirror universe. That's it. She yes, it that does her no justice. I'm believe me. All right. Okay, well, this has been a great show. Let's get into our review of Trois. But first, it's time for trailer talk.
First, it's time for trailer talk.
Now, for those who are just tuning in on this bright and sunny Monday evening here in Philadelphia, Trailer Talk is a part of the show where Vincent and I, and now our guests, talk about whatever the fuck we feel like, because it's going to be cut out of the show because the trailer is going to play at this part.
Okay.
Yes.
So we can talk about whatever the hell we want to.
Yes.
Anything of note that you wanted to bring up, Vincent?
No, there's not. I have no notes.
I have nothing to bring up.
I thought we had guests. I thought the guests would bring up things.
Oh.
Don't do
Oh,
it.
yeah. I mean, I'll bring up stuff.
There you go.
What?
It's not that I'm unprepared. I'm being magnanimous.
I understand.
Yeah. Very
Do
good.
we want to bring up something that everybody knows about, or something that we know about, or like what?
It don't even really matter. What you thinking about?
I don't know. The topics that are popping to mind currently are the film Fresh and why I really like women horror directors, and then also the Earn It Act, which is currently headed into the Senate and I'm very nervous about, and most people haven't heard of, even though it's going to neuter the whole internet.
Let's bring that up because I heard you speak about that on the DTF Fun Hour.
Yeah.
And you're right. A lot of people don't know about that. I don't know necessarily whether or not the show itself is a platform for that, but it's worth bringing up for the people that are watching
and
now.
Also, Timmaree wrote an article in Philly Weekly.
Yes.
Yeah, about the Earn It Act.
Where we are compatriots. We both write for the Philadelphia Weekly. So tell them, what is the Earn It Act?
So, like most things that purport to be about saving children, it's not. It will actually hurt children, and it will censor the internet for adults. And the if folks are familiar with FOSTA SESTA, those were laws that were passed in 2018, that if you've noticed the internet got really neutered and a lot less sexuality on there, it's because of FOSTA SESTA. And it's comparable because it's like, we're out here to save people, but the reality is it's going to censor the internet. And what we can all do, it's going to make life more difficult for people who are in sexy industries, whether it's you're a sex educator or you are a stripper or you are a burlesque performer or a model or whatever. The Earn It Act is specifically trying to target child sexual abuse materials.
Right.
But the thing is, that's already illegal. And so they can't make that double illegal. And right now, most of the websites that, where it's hosted, like for instance, one of the biggest places where child sexual abuse materials are found is actually on Facebook, because that's just a big website.
Yeah.
And they currently already report it to authorities, because most people don't like it. Most people want it to go away, right? So they're already reporting it.
And if I remember your when you taled about it on your show, they report it because it's in their interest to report it right now. Right?
Yeah, because right now it's like get rid of this garbage. We want this away. Even though a lot of these reports aren't even necessarily followed up on. But so Communications Decency Act, Section 230 currently makes it so that websites aren't held responsible for the content that's on there. So they're allowed to moderate the content, but they aren't legally liable if someone puts something on there like child sexual abuse materials.
Right.
And so there's a motivation to report that stuff. If, however, that protection is removed from Section 230 and they are legally liable for it, their motivation to report it goes down, because now they could be liable for anything that they didn't catch or anything like that. And so what will happen is they'll just censor anything that's remotely sexy, even if it's completely like just adults, even if it's just, somebody in a swimsuit and they just want to, they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
It could be breast cancer. It could be about, like anything that just sets off an algorithm. We're all going to get deplatformed for it. And because of the other back end side of it, which is that the government has to have access to everything. All of your messages will be accessible to the government. And in many ways they already are, but every site will have to end-to-end encryption. Like if you're using a site that currently uses end-to-end encryption, like Signal, and Signal is pushing against this bill significantly for this reason. But like if you're currently using something to send your messages that uses end-to-end encryption, that would no longer be possible.
Wow.
All of your stuff will be available. So for many reasons, it's really bad. But because it's prefaced as we're trying to get child sexual abuse materials off the internet, everyone's like, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Right.
Right. Who's against that? Yeah.
I'm not a monster. And so it passed so easily through the Judiciary Committee. And then it'll head to the Senate. And FOSTA SESTA previously passed 98-2. So there's no reason that it wouldn't happen again.
Wow.
Because people don't want to be the one that votes against the thing that's for protecting kids.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a bad
So
look.
I just want people to know that that's a thing that's happening, so that you only have 2 senators to call. So call both of them and tell them, no, we don't support it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Right.
We're going to move this to the main part of the show.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Edit this out.
Right.
The main part of the show. So people follow up with your senators because it's not too late.
It's not too late as of this recording. So tell your senators you are opposed to the Earn It Act.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. All right. Thank you for that.
What, go ahead, repeat
No, I was
that.
like, yell at him about Foster Seska too. I mean, it's already been passed, but that was using the Trojan horse of human trafficking
Mm-hmm.
to make websites liable for the things that were posted, and it led to a lot of similar censorship. Yeah, and it made it harder for the police to find people who are doing that
Right,
stuff. It,
right.
Like, not only is it disingenuous in what it's doing, but it actually makes it harder for the people who are supposed to be getting rid of this stuff. But there's two very rich white men who are funding a lot of these things. But one of them's dead, thank God. But whatever.
Did you have a hand in that?
No,
I was about to say.
no.
Not that y'all need to know about.
Right. You said this was trailer talk.
He said, I just got to Google it. My alarm went off.
I went off. I was like, "Oh, I'm grilling today." Right in the ground. Let's go.
It said it's done. You said, okay. Mm-hmm. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's get into our review.
All right.
Of Trois.
Of Trois.
Man.
Shaza has a 3-way. That's what it says in my notes.
All right. Trois, according to Wikipedia, is a 2000 erotic thriller directed by Rob Hardy, produced by William Packer. There's a name. Starring Gary Dordan, Kenya Moore, and Gretchen Palmer. Film was given a limited theatrical release and was one of the year's highest grossing African American films.
Oh yeah.
As one of the top 50 highest grossing independent films of the year 2000. Just to let you know, this film was made on a $250,000 budget, grossed $1.3 million. The synopsis: Jermaine Dordan is a young attorney who is newly married and has recently moved to Atlanta with his lovely and supportive wife, Jasmine, played by Kenya Moore. While becoming settled into the new city and job, Jerome becomes bored with his seemingly mundane lifestyle, so he asks his wife to engage in a menage a trois with another woman in order to generate more excitement within their relationship. And she reluctantly agrees. And after that, we're off and running.
You know the connection between Michaud and Trois?
Oscar Michaud,
Yeah.
our namesake,
Yeah.
and Trois.
Yeah.
And the film Trois?
Yeah. Do you guys already know
The film Trois or a menage a trois?
No, the film. This was the thing.
No.
I didn't know if you guys already knew.
I don't know. I do not know this.
Okay, so Will Packer and Rob Hardy won a Golden Orange Award for this film because of the way that they circumvented the traditional Hollywood distribution.
Right.
Okay.
And because of the way that they did that, I'm trying to remember what the exact nomenclature was. I found it on IMDb, but it was not since Michaud that somebody had been able to do it so effectively, and then they were able to sell out in the 22 theaters they were in.
Yeah.
But I was just reading about it earlier today, and they connected it directly back to him, and I was like,
that is very true, because Oscar Michaud definitely circumvented. He had
Absolutely.
system that at his time.
Yeah,
he was his own system,
and they won an award for it. So it was like,
yeah, and
Here you go.
And William Packer, right? This was one of the first movies he produced, but he's gone on.
I was about to say this is an early production. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's gone to produce, things like A Man 2 and a ton of other movies.
Yes.
I don't know how much he talks about Trois anymore.
I'm sure he got a poster in his house somewhere.
Right.
I'm sure there's a Trois carpet, lining his basement, where the kids.
It's like a Trois altar. It's a Walter.
See, y'all new to this. This has been a week of Vincent puns all week. So this was the choice, not so much of Timmaree, because if I understand correctly, Darryl may have roped you in on this.
Yep.
Thank you.
So Darryl, what have you to say of Trois?
What are your twats?
What are my twats? You know, I was interested in seeing this movie because, especially in Black cinema, there's a lot of sex negativity that tends to pop up when it comes to, you know, underrepresented sexual acts and ways of being, right? I thought that we're going to run into the regular trope of the, you know, duplicitous bisexual,
Right.
and you know, a home wrecker, right? Like I thought we were going to and I was looking forward to that. So I was like, "Oh, Timmer, watch it. Let's watch it, so we can talk about how this shit is, you know, terrible." That was missing from the movie.
Yeah.
In lieu of that, they threw in everything else. I was, you know, the first hour of the movie, you're just kind of like, "All right, here it goes." Okay,
Yeah.
The actual sex scene is not very erotic.
No.
No.
It's just
Yes.
shadows of butts. That's it.
Are they butts?
There was a leg on a shoulder. Yo, it was funny when Gretchen, right? When
Yes.
she was kissing on Eric's. Is that his name, Eric?
Jermaine.
Sure.
She was kissing on the shoulder. We thought it was a butt. We was like, okay.
Right in there.
No.
It's like, all right. Oh no, that's a shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
And then once they get the title of the movie out the way, then man, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a whodunit. It's a literal
Right.
It is with a plot twist that maybe we won't see coming.
You cannot have seen that coming. Man, I can't wait to force my friends over to my house, fill them up with barbecue and liquor, and then put this movie on.
And then put on Trois.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely right.
Yo. But yeah, I'm surprised at how entertaining it was. You know, when they do the real critical thing of like, was the acting superb? Was the writing good? No, nobody should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you should be full of barbecue and liquor before you start watching the movie. But
Right.
boy.
Oh boy. What about you, Timmaree? What are your initial thoughts on the twining?
I'm a huge fan of the genre of erotic thriller. I feel like there's not enough of them, quite frankly. I like made Darryl watch Deep Water, like literally yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I think I've seen Deep Water. What?
It's Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas. Like it just came out. But it's like it's.
Oh no, I'm thinking about Open Water. Okay.
Yeah,
right,
there's
right.
a bunch of the movies that have like very, very similar titles. It's like
Open Water is not that sexy.
It's not sexy at all.
Like
No.
Deep Ocean. Yeah, there's just a bunch of movies. But yeah, like I'm a huge fan of that as a genre because like I love you know, like some people will say like the sex scene needs to forward the plot. No, the sex scene can just be because people have sex. Like, you know, like that's a completely reasonable justification to include it. Or because all of your actors are attractive. Like that's a perfectly good reason.
I didn't do all them sit-ups to keep a shirt on.
Yeah. Like yeah. I mean, we know this to be a fact. Like if you see, you know, like Henry Cavill has his shirt off for like pretty much all of Justice League for a reason, you know? Like,
yes, he does.
So I just really appreciate it when they're like, just let's be grown up about this. We're watching this movie so we can see these hot people get naked in like this torrid affair. And then I expected it to be just that. And then there's always like some sort of nonsense, right?
Right.
But I was like, oh, and then it just kept happening.
Right.
Like, oh, it's over and over again.
I know. That's very true because I think the reason why this film like is successful as it was at the time, it's like you said, there's not a lot of erotic thrillers, and speaking to you know African American films, there are even less erotic thrillers in that.
Right.
So you're like, already, so it's a taboo subject, menage a trois. It's beautiful Black people, like, okay, I'm signing on, because going in, you don't know that it's the thriller. So you're just
right.
Right. You're seeing, it's wasn't she Miss America or Miss Universe? Kenya Moore?
Was Miss something. Yeah, she was something.
Right.
Miss USA or
woman.
Yeah.
And she's a beautiful look. I ain't even going to front.
Yeah.
I saw this movie in the theaters, and I saw it because of Kenya Moore.
Oh man.
I saw it because of Kenya Moore. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. I did Kenya Moore's Sans bathing suit. I'm there. I was high in 2000. I was there. But then, like you say, Timmaree, the scene happens, and you can argue about, how erotic the scene is or not, that speaks to the level of craft in the film.
Right.
But the story goes totally left from there. And I'm like you said,
my mouth was open for most of the second half of that movie.
No, because it kind of sets you up. Like you mentioned, you're going in thinking that, okay, there's probably going to be some home wrecker in this situation. Right. And it kind of sets you up for that. Mm-hmm. But then it twists it, and now all of a sudden you're supposed to feel sympathetic for the home wrecker because she's wrecking homes, but she's wrecking it's not the home you thought she was wrecking.
Right.
Right.
So I'm like, whoa, I'm like, what is happening with this movie? This is really strange. And then horror happens in the boardroom, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Because we talked about it, we already led with it. There are maggots on the table.
Maggot lunch.
So there's this concept of like the smartest dumb movie and the dumbest smart movies, like movies that are insistent upon how smart they are and then they're actually quite stupid. Like I love Atomic Blonde, but it's insistent that it's smart and it's not.
No.
And then this one is, when we start out, we're like, was this written by like college kids? Because they were like, he's on the big case, and they have no details about how
yes.
And it literally just walks in. It's like, yo, I heard a rumor you're on the big case. I'll tell you about it later.
So it definitely presents as a dumb movie, which is great. Like I love that. And then it was like, like it turned out to, like, there were a lot of plot holes. We're like, this is hilarious. Like, how would anyone have gotten this video? And like, is she a time traveler? And we had all these questions. And then it was like,
right.
No, y'all thought this entire thing through. This is secret. Oh, you're secretly smart.
Right. Actually, that's actually one of my hobbies when we watch these movies. I like to watch the movies that you can tell they didn't have any type of consultant at all. Mm-hmm. It's like the Tyler Perry thing where he depicts lawyers or architects or engineers or some type of profession that he never actually talked to anyone in the profession.
That's very true.
When he comes and he tells them, he says he didn't complete the assignment. And there's a presentation coming up. And I actually said, oh, no, not a presentation. You have to be ready for the presentation. And then what I loved about Maggot Lunch before it got to Maggot Lunch is the scene starts after he's finished the presentation.
Of course.
Well, this is a good place to stop the presentation. Because I've done the assignment leading to the big case. Yeah. Let's break for lunch.
And who, first of all, talk about not knowing how lawyer's office works. What lawyer office brings your big client in and breaks for Chinese food?
I hope you like Chinese food, which I have ordered.
Get the hell out of here. I'm like,
but I do love, I love the fact that it's an erotic thriller that's not that erotic.
No.
And it's almost like they figure it out an hour in and they go, well, F it. Let's just go for it. Like, okay, let's just spitball ideas. And they're like, okay, well, let's put some maggots in. Okay, you know what? I just saw that rerun of the Brady Bunch where the tarantula got loose. We should get a snake and put it in the car. And then my favorite little, like, I love at the end, I knew Kenya Moore was going to end up in the wheelchair. I was actually yelling at the television, wheelchair, wheelchair, wheelchair. But then when the camera pulls back and she's in an electric wheelchair, because Kenya Moore is not moving them wheels.
Dude,
I'm Kenya Moore. I don't do wheels.
yo, first of all, it pulls back to show her sitting, and then it cuts to Gary. You know it's supposed to show her in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Gary, Jermaine, looking at her. And then it cuts back to her, and they've taught her how to turn the wheelchair.
Turn it.
She can't move the wheelchair. She's just learned how to turn. And then they don't even get a full shot of the wheelchair. You just see it turn. And then it goes back to Gary, and we watch him looking apparently at her leave. We never go back to her.
It just fades to nobody else in the courtroom.
Right.
Stand there for
Well,
5 minutes.
well, now he's alone.
No other cases today either.
Yeah. Because of the menage a trois, he's now in the midst of a menage by yourself.
Yep. Just all alone.
Yeah.
That's what you get for wanting sex.
Yeah. That's what you get. You had it and you wanted more.
These are the consequences of your choices.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, okay. Plot going on here. The movie opens up with Jermaine and Jasmine, I believe is his wife's name, it's Kenya Moore. And they seemingly are in love because they're laughing, they're joking or whatever. She's happy, like, oh, you're gonna come home because I got on that red number for you, baby. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come on home. So then he comes home, and because she's already told him what she's going to have on, he's primed to go. He's like, yo, I'm with it. Like, no, I understand you cook. Like, we can eat that later. We refill later. Let's go to the bedroom. And she's like, oh, Jermaine. And they go walking. they go into the bedroom. It cuts to the bedroom. And she seems to not be enjoying herself.
Staring up into space.
Yeah.
And then it fades to him sleeping and she's staring in the same spot. It's like, were you doing that for 45 minutes? What happened? Yeah. But I think it sets up the fact that like they were both not satisfied in their relationship, or at least that was probably what.
Yeah. And he had asked her 49 times, which I thought was a really specific number. He had asked her 49 times to bring someone else into the bedroom.
No, I hear you on that. But my thing is that she set it up that I want you. Like, I'm going to be here for you. And then he comes home and immediately wants her. Sure. So if you're setting up that you want me, you know what I'm bringing to the table, right? You already know we're married. This is not our first date. You know what's happening. And you seemingly want it because you're on the phone telling me you're dressed for it. But then you are upset almost immediately from it. You know what I'm saying?
None of their conversations made sense to me because there was like another point where it's like completely unprompted, they both become real jerks to each other.
Yeah.
Like, for no reason other than I assume like we have to go forward with the plot.
Right.
Right. But their interactions with each other are never really sensible to me from like the information that I have.
Right.
Right. And that's Timmaree, what you have to remember is that the script is terrible and neither one of them are that good of an actor. So you do have to take that into account as well. I've been doing this for almost 300 episodes.
Dude, I was ready to get up and walk away when it was like at the court, when they were in court, and it was like, given the fact that you've had a violent history and the fact that you're poor, as a ward of the state,
right?
I was like, who does this?
I know.
We're gonna put him in foster care
because you're a single mom.
Yeah, and he's saying we're going to investigate. but you lead off saying like, okay, you're a single mom who apparently is not making a lot of money and leaves the kid home alone. 4-year-old, not good. You, the father, you're married, but because of your schedule as a baseball player, and you seem to have a violent tendency,
Your history.
Yeah.
the history, you're not a good fit either. But it made no sense because like it sounded like he was leaning towards
That's what I thought.
the father,
Yeah.
who is married. So, if he's going to be on the road, why can't he stay with the wife?
Yeah, the wife. Like someone would be at home. He's a professional baseball player. They're known to not be poor.
They're professionals.
They're professionals.
Well, and then it's like all the court scenes are like that. They're written by people who apparently have never been in a courtroom. And so like the later court scene, it's like it's now between the dad and the mom again. This child has been apparently, I don't know, somewhere in the foster system and now is going to go live with his mother, to which the father replies, "Damn." Like, why is that the outcome you think that is worse? Why is that the best?
I should have taken into account that one of the people she had sex with might be a lawyer.
Yeah, that was. There's a lot to unpack about this movie.
Yeah, but, I mean, I guess when we were talking about it, we were like, "Oh, the way they set it up is that Jermaine set that up, right?
Right.
He's standing outside of the courtroom."
Yes, looking smugly
and holding up a pin and moving.
But they did set up the pin earlier.
They did.
They did. Like Timmaree said, they had thought it out.
Yes.
They had thought, the waitress calls, and then you realize it's sort of like this at the end of The Sixth Sense, where you could try and put together, like, did anyone actually see Bruce Willis? And then you realize Kenya Moore and his boy have never been in a scene together.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
There you go. Trois in The Sixth Sense.
But he
and
did
Oscar Michelle.
He also did keep asking, though. That's the thing. Because I was like, "Are you into Jermaine? Like, because you keep trying to be a part of this. Like, is that where this is going?"
But I can just take the pictures.
Yeah, he was like insistent on being somehow involved.
Yeah.
So he went to an awful lot of work when, I don't know. It seems like an awful lot of work.
Well, I thought that was going to be the plot twist. Much like Darryl, I thought I knew there had to be an evil gay. Like someone is an evil gay.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe his boy really wanted him. Little did I know.
Very true. Very true.
He really wanted her, but yeah, and I'll give credit where credit is due. They did have that conversation of how would you're being a hypocrite in wanting your wife to bring another woman in, and then being vehemently opposed to her wanting to bring another dude in. Like at least they put that conversation.
That's true. I do have to say that when that conversation came up, I was like, well, look at you, Trois.
Exactly. I said, look at Trois being surprisingly progressive.
I know, in 2000 less. Okay, Trois.
The one thing was, though, bisexuals definitely existed in the year 2000, but this film does not seem to know about them.
Okay. That's very true.
Except for Gretchen.
Oh, Gretchen knows.
Yeah.
Oh, Gretchen knows a lot.
Yeah.
Gretchen knows.
Jade.
Jade.
Character.
Yes, Jade.
Yeah.
Jade.
She's and it is funny, like every scene it's with her alone. It's like it's like she just finished having sex. Like every time in the house, she's like, "Oh my God, I gotta figure out somewhere to put my baby." And then a shirtless dude walks in, like, "Hey, I'm about to go get in the shower."
The guy from Groove Theory.
Is that the guy?
It's the guy from Groove Theory.
He is.
Because how random in 2000 is this movie?
I only know that because when we were watching that is the only time that my lady exclaimed, "That's the guy from Groove Theory."
That's the guy from Groove Theory. Oh, yeah. I was in DC during the Groove Theory moment, and that guy caused a ruckus.
Oh.
Well, So he was on brand in here.
Oh yeah. He troubled the water
He was walking around pretty much in the
in
town.
the DMV. Yeah.
In Trois.
You know,
Yeah.
oh my god.
I'm curious. What did you think of the scenes? You know, the whole setting up of the menage a trois, and how that was handled.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So many things like you can't let her know that I paid. Why not? Why
Right.
do you have to lie to her about this? I don't understand. And then it's just like, since when is $1,000 a lot to a lawyer? Like all of these questions.
Got the big
He's got the big case
The big case.
with the PowerPoint.
But he has to complete the assignment.
That's true. Very true.
Because lawyers only get paid if they complete the assignment, notably. Thing we all know about lawyers.
Right.
I didn't like that presentation. I'm not going to pay you.
Yeah, there were a lot of like, why? Okay, so it was funny. He's like, why did you need to lie about it? And then when he slipped up and he was like, and I paid her, and she was like, oh, and he's like, oh no.
Well, okay.
And then they immediately move on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's not really a thing.
Well, I mean, the videotape, the VHS that got delivered special order to the door. Come on, man.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. The time capsule apparently.
Yeah, we were like, did she travel back in time to take that video with a
I was like, it's the
camcorder?
90s. It wasn't a cell phone video.
I know.
You need a shoulder-mounted camera.
Right.
You need a crew.
Right.
When?
And videotape it with it zooms in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Never gets out of focus. I mean, there's lighting. It was real.
And we have to catch him when he's having sex in her car so that it's time stamped.
Right.
Very true. That is very true.
Right. Oh my goodness.
But I
it was also super coercive too, because like she basically wakes up from like a nightmare about her past abuse and then is like, okay, I'll do it because at least you don't beat me, you know? And
Yeah.
then and he's like, are you sure? And I'm sitting there going like, clearly not. She clearly doesn't want to do it, but you've asked 49 times.
yeah.
And she's
49 times.
I don't want to go back to abusive relationships. I just want to be in a coercive one. That's better.
Well, but to be fair, he doesn't, if I understand correctly, know about the abuse because she is having these dreams, but won't tell him what is going on.
And then he gets mad because she's dreaming about her ex.
Well, I don't think he knows it. He doesn't know what's going on.
He doesn't know what's happening.
He doesn't
But
know the dreams.
Even if he doesn't know about the abusive ex, he has clearly asked repeatedly for
True.
things she has expressed she's not interested in,
That's-
and
49 times actually.
moral concerns about.
Mhm.
Like she has like a philosophical opposition to it.
Yeah.
And he does not seem concerned with the fact that she has not changed her mind on those things. She
Right.
has just relented,
Right.
which
right.
to me is like a boner killer. Like I don't want someone to relent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like them to be into it.
Into it so that they can be, equally participatory in it and everything like that. I hear you. But I'm sorry to keep coming back to this, but that's the reason why I bumped on the moment when the second time she has the dream of the abuse, and I want to talk about that in a quick second. She wakes up and is at that moment, he to his credit, he wakes up like baby what's wrong, each time. And it's at the second time it is then after dreaming of the abuse that she tells him, okay, I'll do it. Now, at that point, because she woke up, startled, I'm thinking, oh, you're going to tell me what you're dreaming. But no, not Jermaine. Jermaine immediately goes to, you mean what I think you mean?
That's right.
The script says, yes, I mean what you think I mean. Let's do that. And that's where I was like, I guess, yes, I'm looking for a little bit more logic in this script.
I'm listening to you.
I know this is a moment where Vincent's like, do you know what we're watching? Yes,
right.
What we were
Is
watching.
this a half hour or 45 minutes before the snake in the car?
I was like, who works at the zoo
Yeah, like, how do you rent a snake? How much money is that?
With the maggots, the snake's typical meal.
Yeah.
Right. And did you have the snake ready and handy? Like just waiting for the opportunity?
It just dawned on me. So the snake, and then conversely, the maggots, they weren't done by Jade.
No, she did none of it.
No, that's the plot twist.
Yeah.
When he took his mask off, I thought he was going to say, "Surprise, bitch!"
Yeah, so you find out that it's the guy who actually works in the lawyer's office in this all along.
Yeah.
I
She
guess-
did nothing wrong. She
did nothing.
around. But the fact is that all of the men in this film are villains.
Yes, because we just gloss over the fact, like you said, Jermaine doesn't beat his wife, and he doesn't, but he does beat women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Randomly breaks into women's homes and beats them.
Beats them up and then leaves.
That's what I was going to mention. In the year 2000, even though there's a little bit of it, I guess looking at this from a 2022 lens, I was surprised at how free there were with showing the violence against women, as opposed to there were definitely like some cutaways when violence was against guys.
They had blown their entire budget already on the maggots, so they couldn't show a shotgun effect.
Right?
Like, they couldn't show, there's no money for blood.
There's no squibs budget. I'm sorry. Just throw some ketchup on them. But yeah, that really like took me out
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Face.
and kicked.
Yes.
You know, I that really bothered me.
It's not good.
No.
And it's like it's one of the pieces of this film that is like actually quite regrettable, because like it's not difficult to imply that something horrible has happened without making us all watch it and like potentially hurting someone who's experienced something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like one of the things that people point to, like Mad Max Fury Road, implies what has happened to all of the women without making you endure it.
No.
As part, you know, like if you're a good enough writer, you can tell that they're a villain without watching it. Yeah.
Right.
Here's the thing. George Miller is a better filmmaker than anyone involved with this film.
Well,
I just think it's worth mentioning.
touche.
That's the pull quote for Trois, ladies and
There
gentlemen.
you go. Trois, not as good as Mad Max Fury Road.
I'm willing to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta land on that. What did we think? I mean, we've glossed around it a little bit, but okay. No, I want to go here. What is wrong? Why is this erotic thriller not erotic?
Why is it not erotic? Because there's no eroticism. Right? Like there's nothing, like the one sex scene is shot terribly.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, they no one holds hands in the entire movie. There are few embraces.
There's no intimacy.
Yeah, there's no intimacy there. There is that one sneak of the two girls kissing at the club, which is hilarious. I'm gonna leave my card here in case I want to put some dick in you this evening.
Right.
That guy was the true hero of the film.
That was the most realistic person in the film.
Right. And there's implicit consent. You know, there's consent all around. Look, if you guys want me here, I'm here for you. If you don't, I'm going to go over on the other side of the club.
Pretty much. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you all night. Simple as that. I mean, you know, I guess I didn't anticipate. It's not, I didn't walk into that movie expecting some like gratuitous sex scene. But like, it wasn't even like Cinemax level.
Well, I actually was expecting gratuity, especially in 2000 when I went to see it. And there isn't. It's not gratuitous.
I was shocked because, like, I also read that they had to edit things out to get it down to an R rating
Yeah, so you
from an
wonder,
NC-17, and I was like, but I mean, this very easily could have been like PG-13, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Like,
right. 2022 probably might be because there's
probably showed women receiving pleasure.
mm,
That tends to get a
yeah.
big strike from the MPAA.
but they do imply it in this
Mhm.
film. There is a scene.
Fine, but like, what scene would they have to pull? Right? Like, what would?
Right.
I mean, there's a scene where his face is in between her legs. She's like hanging. Her legs are wrapped around his neck.
Yeah, well, her shoulders, her knees are on his shoulders. That's not his head between her legs. But I see what you.
See, here's the thing. Look at how the sausage is made, ladies and gentlemen. We weren't sure we were going to be able to watch because it's not readily available.
We were thwarted.
Yeah.
We were thwarted. However,
We were thwarted.
to the rescue came a longtime fan of the show, Dexter Jones.
Look, hey, easy. Why don't you
No.
say a long-time missionary? We supposed to be putting his government out there like that?
Well, I mean, he had a copy of the movie that he was able to lend us.
Well, I guess all right, go ahead.
I mean, I know what to do, Vincent. Calm down.
Okay, all right.
Right? And he doesn't mind. I mean, that's how he works on the internet. He works under his government. So anyway, Dexter got us a copy of the movie so that we could all review it. But that was actually later in the evening yesterday. So we went in most of the day thinking we were going to have to review Trois 2.
Pandora's box.
Pandora's box, which I had watched about 75% of at the time that I got the notification from Dexter. So things are running like all over in my head.
Yes, I see.
I'm like, Kenya Moore? No, that was Mia Calhoun. Was that Gary Dornett? No, that was Michael Jai White. I'm like, so I'm all over the place right now. And if you think this movie is something,
I was saying I cannot wait. I literally, I'm so happy that is readily available to stream.
Oh,
I'm probably gonna watch it tonight.
It's on Prime, baby.
Yeah, yeah, baby.
It's on Prime, baby. So yeah, this
Trois 2,
Pandora's box,
and then there's Trois 3, the escort. Come on, man.
Yes. Wait, I thought that was Trois presents the escort.
No, I think it's Trois
because Trois is now a brand.
I think
The Twaniverse.
We need Samuel Jackson, and we could connect this to the Marvel universe.
I pull it all together. Like Robert Downey Jr. shows up at the end talking about the Avengers Initiative, but he's naked.
He's got a snake in his armor.
Right.
Oh, does he?
The story is anyway. Oh God, where are we going? I don't even know where else to go with bots. I'm kicking bots out of the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to stay on top of that. What else do you got to say about Trois, Vincent?
I think it is notable for scratching that itch of the black erotic thriller in 2000 that you do see more of. I mean, I think that goes without saying. Like, I don't even think that's up for debate. Like, we talked about the money that it's made. We talked about the fact that it has become this name brand, if you will. Like it really did fill this hole, pardon the pun.
Well, I don't know about that because this movie comes out in 2000.
Right.
Trois 2, Pandora's Box. We use full titles here on the Michelle Mission.
Gotcha. Please say the baby.
Does not come out until 2012.
What?
Yeah.
There's 12 years between Trois?
I thought it was like 2004.
I thought I saw that it was 2000 and you're right, 2002. And what comes out 2012?
2004 was the third one. They were like boom, 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 actually.
That's right.
Boom, boom.
Pardon,
you're right. You're right. I don't know what I was looking at in 2012. Then maybe it was the twining. I don't know. but I don't know if it's really scratches the itch of the black erotic thriller. Like I'm a sucker for an
I
erotic
think it did
thriller.
at the time. I think it's
Yeah, at the time.
Well, but okay, but I'm
You're
still
saying okay, but they made 3 of them.
I'm still itching. I'm
They made
sorry.
3 Trois.
I feel like
They made
that's also the nature of the erotic thriller, right? Like there's not a whole lot of like I enjoy them, but at the end of them I'm still sort of hungry, right? Like that's kind of the point. And like try to think of like what are the big erotic thrillers that like really made all the money, and it's like Fatal Attraction and like Basic Instinct and those kind of things. I don't leave those feeling like those are the greatest films of all time. You know, it's like
No.
if anything, the point of watching them is that I remember how much I like having sex and remember like the early stages of dating where you're like turned on by parts you haven't seen yet. And when you're young and it's just like everything is like exploratory and the world is open. And like I think to go back to like Deep Water from watching last night, like the thing that I thought both of like an erotic thriller does well is just like making mundane things suddenly very exciting.
Right.
You know, and so like there's none of them ever wrap up where I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely a movie I need to watch a bunch of times. Trois, however, I was like, I need to watch this a bunch of times and force other people to do it also. Because like this is a ride.
It is.
It is a ride.
This is gonna be The Room.
Oh, this is the Room,
This is
really?
gonna be The Room. Like I've been, at someone's house now. You got to watch this terrible movie. And both me and my wife watched it, and then we looked at them like, "Why did you make me do this for The Room?" I'm going to be doing this to people for Trois.
I can see that. Miss Makiba in the chat asked whether or not was this also when the Zane books became popular.
That's a good question.
It's around that time. Zane Publishing actually
I think it's about
first established in 1995. It's not hard to imagine that 7 years later that's when it really starts to pop and Zane really becomes a thing in the zeitgeist. So that's a good pull there, Miss Makiba. So I like that. Bree 517 says 365 days. Watch this movie on a loop. I don't know about that. About that. Someone asked the question: is Angel Heart with Lisa Bonet, would that be considered an erotic thriller?
Oh man, I haven't,
because it's like supernatural though.
I haven't watched that in so long. I just remember there being like sexy scenes.
Yeah. I don't know how erotic. Like I'm trying to think if there actually is any like sex in it. It's like sexy, but not. And there's an atmosphere to it.
Definitely just like some nudity.
Yeah.
Lisa Bonet is definitely naked
because Mr. Cosby had problems with that.
Right. And 18-year-old Vince investigated that quite closely. I was on top of that.
It was a big deal back then.
Okay. Shout out to someone who we just recently lost. When my mind goes to a erotic thriller, I think of a movie actually from the 80s, Body Heat, which starred a very Kathleen Turner and William Hurt, who just recently passed away. That is a movie that is sexy, atmospheric, but is a great mystery. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Yeah, you should check out that movie. And that's the movie that made like Kathleen Turner. If you know her primarily from like the Romancing the Stone movies or some of the older films, that's the movie that made her a star. That's the movie that made her like the sex symbol, this Sharon Stone, if you will, of her day. That's where I think of, but that's me being old. Okay. Timmaree's like, I don't.
I just haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I remember being in a video store as a teenager and spending too much time walking by the erotic thrillers.
Right.
The Nintendo 64 games.
I never made it to the Nintendo 64 games.
That was all I could get. Dude was like, "Hey, what you doing? Nothing."
See, you didn't grow up in the days where if there was like a young 25, 26-year-old behind the local mom and pop video store, they would just get to know you. It was like, all right, Len, go ahead. Don't tell nobody.
No, go behind the beads.
Right.
Man. For real. All right. So before we wrap this up, Darryl Charles Timmaree, I think I may be burying the lead. Would you recommend that people watch Trois?
Of course, but again, you have to preface it with, watch this movie so you can laugh and have a good time. Don't show up with your thespian glasses on.
Right.
No, notice we're not picking on any of the acting in this because it is what it is. What about you, Timmaree?
Yeah, same. I think this is I would file this under party movie.
Yeah. Hey, this would be a good party movie.
Because you leave the room for like several minutes and come back, and like you might miss a crazy big plot point. You might not.
That's very true.
Calling me at $5.99 in the morning.
That's my favorite part.
I did. I thought that was a dope line.
I was like, can we start making that a thing when it's like almost a time? And you say that it's $5.99.
That was actually, I was like, okay, look at you, Trois, with a script. Okay. Oh my God. What about you, Vincent? Would you recommend that people watch Trois?
We'll be 3 for 3. I think this is and I think you have to trust the movie because it's a bad movie for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
almost completely an hour. It's a bad movie that you can chuckle at, but then it becomes the greatest movie ever made.
All of a sudden,
like it really does.
Yeah.
It just takes a hard left
and
it becomes amazing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be 4 for 4 on this, and it's really primarily for the fun factor of it. It's it's just a goofy movie, and let me say, having watched 75% of Trois 2 Pandora's Box, the fun stops here at Trois. Yeah.
They took themselves too seriously. Oh well, I'll find out on my own.
Find out on your own. Find out on your own. What I'll say, if you're a fan of Michael Jai White, Black Dynamite fame, he is a man who I appreciate because he always seems to know what movie he's in, regardless of what everybody else is doing, right? So he's fine. But Mia Calhoun is the Monica from Soul Food.
Monica Calhoun.
Monica Calhoun, not from Soul Food. She's from The Best Man.
Yes,
primarily that's where most people know her.
And also Gang of Roses.
I forgot she's in Gang of Roses. That's true.
She's taking herself very seriously in that too.
Yeah. In Gang of Roses, as well as in Trois 2 Pandora's Box, Monica Calhoun believes that she's in The Best Man 3. She's not. You can't tell her that, and that's to the detriment of the movie, unfortunately. But like I said, there's Michael Jai White. There's a Joey Lawrence sighting in this.
Whoa.
Luckily, you can turn it on for 5 minutes. You'll get your Joey Lawrence fill. And mind you, once you've seen him, you won't see him any different in the film. So don't think that, is he? No, he's not. He's not twining in this movie. No.
That's a twain.
He's not even the hottest of the Lawrence brothers. That's fine.
He's not. I don't know.
No, he's got a younger brother who was in did you ever see The Hot Girl? It's a Rob Schneider movie, so it's okay if you didn't.
Oh boy, yeah.
But it's an early Rachel. God, what is her name? She was in The Notebook. The
Notebook is
in Mean Girls. That chick.
Adams.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah. And Anna Faris is in it. But yeah, Joey Lawrence has a younger brother who is much cuter than he is.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Go get your whole friend group together and sit down and watch Trois 1. That's Trois 1. Do that. Make that happen. Get this? Janelle Jane from the TV series Abbott Elementary has a podcast where she reviews erotic thrillers.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Well, we're not promoting other podcasts here, but that's except one, and that is the DTF Fun Hour, ladies and gentlemen, with Darryl Charles and Timmaree, available where good podcasts be, which is everywhere. Go and check them out. The show, is it weekly or
Mostly
weekly? Yeah, they get it out there.
Okay.
Yeah,
they get it out there. I am, well, you know, I was a fan of the Fun Hour live show. I can't wait for it to return.
Same.
Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, I can't wait.
But I am so happy that you have turned it into a podcast. You two have big fun, and you learn something, but you're still silly, you know, and you have a great time with it. It's so dope. I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's really nice. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Okie dokie. All right. Before we tell you what we're going to be reviewing next week, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you, and you want to tune in next week, believe me. I invite you to send us all of your thoughts, your concerns. Email us at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's micheauxmission@gmail.com. But hey, if you want Vince and I to check you out and really get up close and personal with us, why don't you leave us a voicemail? And the Micheaux Mission voicemail, call 215-867-9666 and tell Vincent and Len what's on your mind. Operators are standing by. The Micheaux Mission is also on all of your social media platforms. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Micheaux Mission. Subscribe on YouTube and Twitch at Micheaux Mission, who is a proud member of the Podglomerate Podcast Network, thepodglomerate.com. We make podcasts work. And if you like the Micheaux Mission and you want to really help us, the best way that you can help us, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean this sincerely, is give us 5 stars and a rating and a review on Spotify and Apple, because that's the way that people find our show. The more reviews we get, the more stars we get, the higher we rise in those platforms' algorithms, and people are able to find our little show. And we really appreciate each and every one of you that does that, even our international listeners.
Absolutely.
And you can also check out swag on micheauxmission.com to check out all of our cool designs and gifts via our good friends at TeePublic, including our 6 Degrees of Derville designs, which have been popping off the chains, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, we got more than a few sales this week, Vince. So it's going
all right.
All right.
All right.
Coming, because that helps us keep the show free for you. All right. Next week on the Micheaux Mission, the road to 300. We're in the final stretch, Vince.
All right.
Episode 295.
All right. Here we go.
I know, right? And next week, a lot of people have been asking us to review documentaries. Well, you know, like we said, we're breaking out the big boys here on this road to 300. So I went to a documentary, one of my favorite documentaries of all time, and that is from the year of 1996. And our very special guest will be Bobby Booker of the Philadelphia Tribune and WRTI to help us review When We Were Kings.
Nice.
With George Foreman's epic battle against the late, great Muhammad Ali.
Ali Boubaye.
Come for Muhammad Ali, stay for Don King. And James Brown. James Brown. There's the James Brown as well. All right. And where can people reach you if they want to get in contact with you guys or be down with the DTF experience?
Yeah, you can find DTF Darryl Timmaree Fun Hour on all of the places. We also are both on the Facebooks and the Twitters, etc. You can find more about me at drtimmaree.com. So that's DRTIMAREE. And you can find articles like the things we talk about on DTF. You can find my articles for Philly Weekly. You can find my upcoming events. I have a lot of burlesque related events, including one that's coming up April 10th at Frankie Bradley's called Get You a Babe Who Can Do Both. And it is a mixture of TED Talks and burlesque.
Oh, really?
So burlesque your
Nice.
TED Talk and then do a striptease.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And we have an incredible cast for this next one. So you can find out more on my website or also just frankiebradley.com for that one.
Oh, pretty dope. What about you, Darryl?
You can find me on the social medias and whatnot, but darrylcomedy.com is my website. You can look at my calendar, see where I will be. In fact, as far as I know, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I will be at the Punchline Philly. So
Get out of here.
yeah, you can come hang out with your boy. Watch me tell some jokes.
Nice.
Brand new hour I'm working. So yeah, onward.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Well, you know what? I have just officially changed my Thursday plans. I am coming to the Punchline to check you out, man.
Look at that.
Yes.
Cool.
Come
Yeah.
on, hang out with my man Darryl.
Look at that. You get to meet Len.
There you go.
Near the Punchline. Easy.
Yes, meet me. All right. I don't even know where to go from there. The bots just keep coming. It looks like they're having fun on our streams, but it's all good. All right.
Right.
We have to get out of here. I think we've covered everything, Vincent. We have.
All right.
Then let's get out of here. Thank you to our bartender Khadijah for the delicious sangria. Feel free to show up every Tuesday so that we can have some more sangria, honey. Appreciate it.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but I can try.
We will be Sansgria. That was for the road, Glenn. That was just for the road.
I appreciate it. All right, we got to get out of here. As always, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting, we say,
We'll see you when it's time to meet again.